Welcome to Doing the Work, a Naples integrated recovery podcast. My name is Brian, and this space is for anyone who's tired of surviving the same emotional and behavioral loops, whether that's anxiety, trauma, addiction, or problems in your relationships. Around here, we cut the surface level advice, no sugarcoating, no platitudes, no bumper sticker wisdom. We focus on clarity, responsibility, emotional discipline, and the courage to look at yourself honestly so that you can stop repeating the same old patterns and start living with intention instead of reaction. Let's get into it. Hello, listeners. A couple days ago, I did an episode about EMDR, and one of the things that I talked about was that if a client is dysregulated, that there are some tools that might be used to help soothe the nervous system. And so it seems like it would be appropriate to demonstrate and to give you one of the tools that I use to help clients learn how to self-soothe. So please do not listen to this and attempt to practice this while you are driving or anything like that. Don't sue me in the podcast. And I'm going to give you a tool to settle your nervous system down. And the name of this is a progressive muscle relaxation. And it comes from DBT, one of the distress tolerance skills in that framework is TIPP, TIPP, which are 4 different body-based distress tolerance interventions. These are used when emotional intensity becomes so high that you could have your practiced communication and all the things that you know you're supposed to do, but it all goes out the window when your nervous system is going haywire. So in order to try to problem solve or communicate or any of those things, you have to have a nervous system that is not running 9 out of 10 or 10 out of 10 or 11 out of 10. So this is a skill that can help bring you down a couple of clicks. Now, it's not going to be like eating a handful of Xanax and melting into the couch, but the goal in practicing this is for you to self-soothe, for you to see that you can self-soothe without drugs, alcohol, or whatever thing you may potentially be using to try to settle or soothe yourself. And the goal is obviously that if you have a major crisis, this is not going to make it feel like it's a 1 out of 10, but potentially if you do this and you're starting at a 11 out of 10, maybe after this we get you down to a 7 out of 10, which feels a hell of a lot more workable than 10 or 11. And in time, by practicing things like this, things that used to activate you to a 10 or an 11 out of 10, maybe your new baseline might become 7 out of 10, and then you do an exercise like this, and then you notice that you're a 4 out of 10. So TIPP stands for temperature change, intense exercise, paced breathing, and progressive muscle relaxation. You don't have to do all of them. Obviously, if you are sitting in a board meeting and your boss really pisses you off, you're probably not going to go jump in an ice bath or splash ice water on your face, but you may be able to do paced breathing during that. Or if you're at home and you have the ability, maybe going for a run or doing some push-ups or whatever that could fall under that intense exercise. So these interventions are to help you change your nervous system and the way that you feel, so that you can bring emotional intensity down. And then once the intensity has decreased, you probably have a better chance of accessing your wise mind or other DBT skills, including emotion regulation, interpersonal effectiveness, problem solving, being mindful, checking the facts. But it's hard to do any of that if you are severely dysregulated. So T is temperature. sudden cooling around your eyes or cheeks can activate the body's natural dive response. It can slow your heart rate. It can reduce some of the physical intensity that is associated with overwhelming emotion. So some people use cool water or cold water on their face. Others may put their hands inside of a bowl of ice water, or maybe you might do a cold pack on your eyes for a while. Or I just recently experienced my first cold plunge immersion therapy. That was pretty interesting. Definitely, if you are feeling one way and then you get in that cold water, that icy cold water, I guarantee you are not going to feel to the intensity that you did when you get in that cold water. So that's T. I is intense exercise. Strong emotions create physical energy, and your muscles prepare for action. So in some cases, sometimes maybe slowing it down is the right answer, but other times, if you got to really rage it out, go for a run, fast walk, climb the stairs, do some jumping jacks, use an electric bike, something like that. And after that exercise ends, your heart rate and breathing will start to return to baseline, and you gave that energy some place to go. Paced breathing is one where often when we're activated, breathing starts becoming fast, shallow, irregular, or restricted, and paced breathing activates your parasympathetic nervous system. Your parasympathetic is like you're turning the fire alarm off in your body, slowing your breath down intentionally, long exhale. One way that this is commonly taught is box breathing. Inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, and then hold empty for 4. Or you could do breathe in for 4, hold for 4, and then a long 6 or 8 exhale. There's different ways that people do these. And the one that we are going to do today, again, please don't drive or anything like that, is a paired muscle relaxation. And this combines breathing with deliberate tightening and releasing of muscle groups. And as you breathe in, you will tense an area of the body, hold the tension, notice how it feels, and then breathe out. And as you are releasing both the muscles and the breath, to notice and pay attention to the difference. And to do this takes, I'd say, maybe about 20-ish minutes. So think, when you're really activated, you're probably not going to come down in a minute. A realistic come down might be about 15-20 minutes. And one thing that I used to let people in the substance use groups that I would run know is, if your go-to was that you would have a few drinks, or that you'd smoke a joint, or you do whatever your thing was, even that stuff that you were using to change your nervous system, and maybe with the exception of like IV, most of these things are not going to change your physiological state instantly. They're going to take maybe a few minutes, right, before you start to notice a shift or a change, unless you've been hit with that the booty juice. What do they call that in the crisis unit? They give people a shot when they are highly activated B-52 bombers. It's like a mixture of Ativan and a sleeping medicine. It's like sleepy time the second they get that. That might wind you down from like a 10 to a 3 real quick. But if your nervous system's amped up, it's going to take a couple minutes to amp it back down or to turn the fire alarm off. So I'm going to give you a paired muscle relaxation that if you would like to practice, sometimes this is used if somebody is really activated in EMDR, but this is a tool that you could put in your toolkit if you are looking to intentionally wind yourself down. And I don't just read something off of some script and tell people what to do that I found in a worksheet. Anything that I talk about on this show or that I give clients, I use it for myself. I know that it works. I've seen it work repeated times. And so Not that all the tools work for everybody, but give this one a try. So, if you are prepared, let's move into a progressive muscle relaxation. Find a place where you can remain reasonably comfortable and undisturbed for about the next 20 minutes. You may want to sit in a supportive chair or lie down. Make sure that you are warm enough or that it's a comfortable temperature. Adjust any clothing or anything that might be irritating. If you need a pillow, grab that. Get in a position that feels comfortable. And usually I encourage people to do this with their eyes closed if you are able or if you feel comfortable. And let your hands rest loosely in your lap or alongside your body. And allow your legs and feet to settle into a natural position. If your eyes are closed, then you're ready. Or if you've decided to leave them open, then just allow your gaze to rest softly on a single point. Take a moment and notice your breathing. Just become aware of the gentle rise in your abdomen as you breathe in, and notice it lower when you breathe out. For this moment, there's nothing that you need to change. Simply observe the breath moving through your body. Breathe in slowly through your nose and allow your breath to travel down into your chest, your abdomen, and pause. And then release through your mouth. Let the air flow out without trying to force anything. Another deep breath in. Fill your lungs and pause at the top. And breathe out. Slowly, completely. Feel your body starting to settle a little bit more deeply into the surface beneath you. One more deep breath in. Pause. And let it go. Allow your breathing to return to a comfortable, natural rhythm. And during this practice, you're going to be invited to tighten different muscles throughout your body. And with each of those, you're going to contract or tighten or squeeze each muscle firmly and gently. Hold the tension for a little bit and then release as you breathe out. And with each release, just notice what changes. If there's any movement that doesn't feel comfortable, then just allow that area to stay relaxed and keep breathing normally. So let's start by bringing your awareness down to your feet and your toes. Just notice how your feet feel before you do anything. Notice their position. Notice where they are touching the floor, or the bed, or the surface beneath you. Notice if there's any pain or any sensations. Take a deep breath in. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Out. 2, 3, 4. And as you're breathing in, gradually curl your toes downward. Tighten the muscles of the soles of your feet. Hold that contraction gently. And let it go. Take a deep breath in. And out. One more time, we're going to squeeze the feet. Notice any tension in your toes. So as you take a deep breath in, squeeze your feet, which you can do by pointing your toes. And let it go. Let your toes uncurl. Allow the muscles in your feet to loosen. Feel any tension starting to drain away. Notice the difference between how your feet felt when they were contracted and how they feel now. Take another deep breath in. Curl your toes downward one more time. Squeezing your feet, tightening the soles. Hold, notice the tension. And breathe out as you release. Wiggle your toes a little bit. Allow your feet to become soft. Just notice any difference. Maybe warmth or tingling or stillness. Next, move your awareness up to your lower legs. I'm going to focus on your calf muscles. And in order to do this, you can draw your toes upward towards your knees. That'd be one way to stretch the calf. And take a deep breath in. And point your toes upward towards your knees. Feeling the backs of those calves starting to tighten. Notice the firmness. And exhale and release. Let your feet go back to their natural position. And notice the calf muscles becoming loose. Allow the lower legs to rest. And let's take another deep, comfortable breath in. Squeeze those calf muscles, which you can do by pointing your toes upward. Hold for a few seconds. Notice the effort. And breathe out. And let it all go. Notice the tension moving out from your calves. Allow them to feel heavy and relaxed. Bring your attention to the muscles in your thighs. If you're sitting, you can press your heels downward into the floor, or if you're lying down, you can straighten your legs slightly, tighten the muscles in the front of your thighs, your quads. With this, take a deep breath and squeeze those thigh muscles. Hold just for a moment. Notice those muscles tense and firm. And breathe out and release. Let the thighs become loose. Allow your legs to settle back to the surface that's beneath you. Take another slow breath in, and as you do that, tighten your thigh muscles again. Hold for just a moment. Notice the tension. And breathe out as you're releasing. Notice the difference as your muscles become soft and heavy. And allow them to rest without effort. Next, bring your awareness to the muscles around your hips and your butt. Take another deep breath in, and as you are breathing in, tighten the muscles in your buttocks. Squeeze that contraction for just a few seconds. Notice the difference with the tension around your hips. And breathe out and release. Notice the difference. Now that your hips are starting to settle more deeply into the chair or the bed or the floor that's beneath you. Do one more deep breath in, gently squeezing the muscles in your butt. Hold. Notice that contraction. And breathe out, releasing. Let your hips become heavy. Allow the muscles to soften completely. Now we're going to do the entire lower body at the same time. So, you're going to use your toes to tighten up your feet. You're going to tighten your calves, your thighs, and your butt all at the same time. Deep breath in, squeeze, contract. Notice all of those muscles tight. And exhale and release. The toes loosen, let the feet rest, let the calves soften, release the thighs, let your hips be heavy. Notice the entire lower body settling. Let's do one more. Full lower body. Tighten all of the muscles from your feet through your hips. Deep breath in and hold. And a long exhale out and letting everything release. Now your legs should be loose, heavy, and still. You can pause here for a few breaths. Just notice any difference with the lower half of your body now that you're about 15 minutes in. Bring your attention to your stomach and just notice how your abdomen moves with each breath. We're going to contract the stomach muscles with the next breath. And one way that I heard this described was try pinching your belly button to your back. Imagine if you could do that. So deep breath in, squeeze and contract the stomach, trying to, through the muscles, just force the belly button to your back. And release, exhale. And allow your abdomen muscles to soften. Let your stomach just move freely with your breathing. Notice the relief that just came from letting it go. Take another deep breath in. And we're going to contract the stomach muscles again. Holding for a few seconds. Noticing. And breathe out and release. Allow your stomach to become soft. Allow your breath to move through your body. Bring your attention to the muscles in your back. Notice where the back is making contact with whatever surface is beneath you. Take a slow breath in, and as you do that, draw your shoulder blades towards each other and allow a slight arc in the back. Only what's comfortable. Hold for just a moment and release. Let your shoulder blades move back apart. One more time, we're going to do another deep breath in. Feel the muscles in your back tightening up, drawing your shoulder blades together. Hold. And release as you breathe out, allowing your back to become broad, heavy, and relaxed. Next, you're going to draw your attention to your shoulders and the area around your neck. Before we start contracting anything, just notice. Are you already holding tension there? And take a slow, deep breath in. And lift your shoulders up towards your ears, holding them there. And notice tension at the top of your shoulders. Notice the muscles on the sides of your back and neck firm. And let it go. Let your shoulders drop. Allow them to fall away from your ears. Feel the tension loosening as your shoulders start to settle. Notice how different they feel when they are released. And once again, let's breathe in. Raise your shoulders towards your ears. Hold that contraction gently. And breathe out and release, allowing the muscles in your neck to start to soften. Resting lower than they were before. Take a couple comfortable breaths here. And with each exhale, allow the shoulders to continue to settle a small amount. Next, we're going to move into your arms. Bring your attention to your upper arms. And as you breathe in, you can bend your elbows and you can draw your hands toward your shoulders. Bend your elbows, draw your hands towards your shoulders. And when you do that, you should notice tension in your upper arms. Hold that contraction gently. Notice the firmness in your biceps and your triceps. And breathe out and let your arms down. Let everything soften. Allow your arms to rest comfortably again. Notice the difference when it's released. Take another deep breath in. Bend your elbows. Tighten your arms one more time. Holding. And release. Next, move your awareness to your forearms. Actually, let's do your forearms and your hands at the same time. With your next deep breath in, you can bend your wrists inward, which would tighten up your forearms, and you can ball your fist, squeeze the fist in your forearm, and notice holding that contraction, tension in your forearms and your hands, and let it go as you exhale. Allow everything to be soft. Loosen your hands up. Loosen your forearms. Just notice how much effort it took to squeeze as opposed to just be released. One more deep breath in. And again, you're squeezing forearm muscles by bending your wrist down, ball your fist. Hold for a moment. Notice the effort. And breathe out. Now we're going to do the whole upper body that we just covered. So you can squeeze your stomach, your shoulders, your biceps, triceps, your wrists and your hands. Deep breath in. Squeeze all of the muscles in the upper body. Notice the contraction. Notice the tension. And exhale and release. Allow your stomach and shoulders and arms to soften. One more that we're going to do: stomach, shoulders, arms, hands. Deep breath in and contract all of those. Noticing that tension. And exhale and release. There are different variants for doing the face. Some really slow this down with just the mouth or just the forehead, just the eyes and cheeks. Because we've been at this for about a half hour, I'm going to just have you do kind of everything. Tense your face. Imagine somebody that's just really upset you, and as you're breathing in, bring the awareness to your face, to that area above your eyebrows and your forehead, your cheeks, your jaw. And as you're breathing in, squeeze all of the muscles that you can with your face. And exhale, allow it all to soften. Notice that difference once everything becomes soft again. One more for the full face contraction of your forehead. Maybe squeezing your eyes, squeezing your jaw. One more time as you breathe in, contract the muscles on your face. And let it go. For this last go round, we're going to do a full body tension. So feet, calves, thighs, butt, stomach, arms, hands, face. You're going to breathe in, contract all of the muscles. You're contracting everything, noticing the tension. And release. I'm going to do one last one, a final deep breath, contracting all of the muscles that we've covered. Hold. Notice the tension. And exhale, letting every muscle go, letting your entire body rest. Notice that contrast between the holding and the releasing. Notice the weight of your body being supported by whatever's beneath you. Now, let your breathing return to its natural rhythm. No more tightening, no more movement. Just notice your breathing. Notice your feet. Allow your calves to be rested. Notice your thighs and hips, and allow those large muscles to be loose. Notice your abdomen. Your stomach can now move freely, breathing in and settling as you breathe out. Allow your shoulders to be relaxed, your arms to be heavy. Notice your face if there's any tension. Take a deep breath in. and out. And if you're still exhaling, then go just a little bit longer and notice what's happening in your body. You don't need to evaluate anything. You're not scoring anything. Just notice. You might feel calm or heavy, sleepy, still. Maybe you notice a little bit of a change that what felt like a 10 feels like a 7. You may be aware of where you were carrying tension. So just continue to breathe in and out, noticing your rested muscle state. One more deep breath in. Allow yourself to start returning to the room. Maybe moving your hands a little bit or your ankles. And when you're ready, allow your eyes to start to open or lift your gaze. Take a moment before you stand. Just assess. Notice how your body feels. Notice if anything feels different. And last, carry that awareness with you as you return to the rest of the day. How are you feeling? Any better? Man, people in IOP loved doing that exercise. Well, probably you didn't have to focus too much on therapy if you were progressive muscle relaxing. What'd you think? Did you find it helpful? Did it settle you at all? What did you notice? Hopefully you found that helpful. It's definitely a skill that takes time. So we were in that for about half hour or so. Hopefully you noticed a difference. That is one of many tools for nervous system regulation, and if you didn't love it, don't do it again. No sweat. Worst thing was you had to listen to me for a half hour, which I'm told I have a radio voice. Yeah? I don't know. Thanks for spending the time with me. If you found this episode helpful, please share it with somebody who may need to hear it. Be kind to yourself, be kind to people around you. Remember that we're all doing the best that we can with the tools that we currently have, and we're all capable of growing past that. If you'd like to reach out or connect, send me an email, brian@naplesintegratedrecovery.com. I hope to hear from you there. In the meantime, thanks again for listening. I'll see you on the next one.